Okay, let's focus. Let's focus. Uh, and this is a good paper, of course. It is covering like almost 80% of what you should know, right? We'll see which metal has an atom with 3 electrons in its outer shell. Now, aluminum, I know, right? The thing is now, I just want to tell you that you don't have to write all the electron configuration of the atoms given here, right? How do you know that? 3 electrons in the outer shell means it's the group number. It's the group number. So they ask him basically what element is in group 3. Electron configuration will leave from there. The last number of electrons in the last shell is equal to the group number. Is that clear? Therefore, that's why the answer is aluminum. That's why the answer is aluminum. Which 2 metals are in the same period of the periodic table? We should be blind if you're going to go wrong in this. Right? Right? But you should know they should be in the same period. Right? Right? That means the horizontal line. Right? So what did you select? What did you select? Calcium and
Sir, no vertical negative.
vertical variety.
Barium.
Calcium and iron. Calcium and iron. Calcium and iron. It should be horizontal. Period can make it like that. So then correct your answer. Right, right. Wrong, wrong. Because that's one mark only. So you must have both correct. Which metal has an atom with 3 protons in its nucleus? Number of protons is oops. Sorry about that. There is a small technical failure. First time after long time it happened. Okay, next one. Let's go. I'll tell you verbally. Next one. The number of protons in the nucleus means the atomic number. Right? Yeah, that's the hint that you should know. Number of protons in the nucleus is equal to the atomic number. It is equal to the atomic number. So then they are saying there are 3 protons in the nucleus. That means the atomic number is 3. So whose atomic number is 3?
Lithium.
It's lithium, right? Then the answer is lithium. Next one. Which metal has a nitrate which is used to test halide ions?
Silver.
Silver nitrate. Silver nitrate. Silver nitrate is white precipitate ganda, right? Okay, then next one. Which metal used in food containers because resistant to corrosion? Aluminium. Iron වලින් කෑම මේවා හැදුවොත් නියමයට තියෙයි. Iron corrode වෙන්නේ, right? So what is resistant for corrosion? It's aluminium, right? Aluminium. So I think don't worry. Now this is called checkpoint exam. Then checkpoint එකක් තියෙන්නේ ඇයි කියන්නේ කොහේ හරි තැනක checkpoint එකක් තියෙන්නේ ඇයි? The checkpoint will see check කරන්න. මොනවද check කරන්නේ? Whether the correct people, right? Whether the correct things. Whether the people and the things that pass in that checkpoint are under the given criteria before it goes to the destination. That's what you call checkpoint. So what is checkpoint exam? What's your destination? What's the order? Correct. That's the ultimate goal, right? What's the short-term goal now? Monthly test. So now you are having a checkpoint exam. That means this is a point we check. Okay, are you up to standards to that? Right? Right? You fail at the checkpoint. What does it mean? You fail at the checkpoint. So you are lucky. Before you go to the destination and you go fail that point, rather before you go to that point, now you know, okay, so I'm not good at this, so I have to study a little more. So that's the idea of a checkpoint, right? Checkpoint exam. no, never give a bench. That's how some of you are, right? But the only thing I have to say, right? So what you do now is what you get at the end, right? Right? Therefore, so what are we doing? We are like giving you all the kind of exposure to improve. Ultimately, it's in your hand. Do another at the game. Right. So then fourth is silver. Okay. Let
No,
me
sir.
not do the same mistake. Let's have this.
Yes.
Yes.
So I can see the screen.
Ah, not sharing the screen. Thank you very much. All right, which metal is okay. Many of the elements in the periodic table have metallic properties. Describe three physical properties which are typical for most of metals.
Variable.
Right? Okay. Physical properties. First of all, you right. Okay. Shiny. Very common. Shiny. Then
Malleable.
malleable. Yes. Ductile and malleable must be one thing. Okay.
Sonorous.
Okay.
Sonorous. So they conduct.
Sonorous.
Sir,
Conduct electricity at solid form.
sir, high
අනේ සොන්නස් එක ලියන්න එපා.
Sir, make.
ඒක නිකන් කෙමිකල් කිසිම වැඩක් නැති එකක්.
Sir,
Conducts electricity.
sir, high welding and boiling.
So they're asking for physical properties.
Yeah.
Or some.
So Sonorous is also physical.
Take a variable.
ඒක ලියන්න එපා. ඒක I mean, it doesn't have to do with any chemistry, right? Whether it's physical.
Malleable and ductile, same thing.
Malleable is changing the shape, right? Ductile is okay, changing the shape to make wires. So it's same thing, right?
So conduit, high welding and boiling.
High melting point and boiling point accepted. High density accepted because they are saying most of the metals, like some metals are out of them, that's correct. But you know, my rank one is what? Metal properties they conduct electricity in solid form. That's my rank one property of metals, right? Okay, physical properties, right? Malleable and ductile will be the rank two physical properties for metals, yeah? Then high density. Everything are high density, high melting point are very characteristic for transition elements, transient metals, not for all the metals. Right? Therefore, these two are the rank, the first priority physical properties for metals. Right?
So third one.
I mean, they're going to have
The hard,
hard and strong. Come on, that's also correct. හරිද? ඒ වුණාට මේ දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ chemistry හොඳට ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට තේරෙයි තව argue කරනකොට. The hard and strong කියන්නේ it's too general, right? Water diamond වල ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්, මේ plastic wood වලටත් ලියන්න පුළුවන් hard and strong. නේ? Right? Likewise, better to be more specific. Yeah.
Sir, I wrote sonorous. Sir, can you accept it just for this checkpoint?
Back. Except කරන්න back. Sonorous is out. Right? Alright, next one. Which substance is most conductor of heat? Now, this is here, listen. Some people think you have to study all these properties and go to the exam to answer these questions. No, this is coming under AO2 objectives. What is AO2? What is AO2? Assessment objectives 2. What is assessment objective 2? Students should be able to use the data given and understand the patterns, identify the patterns, understand the trends and answer. You don't need any memory for these kind of questions. But the one before was AO1, right? You need to know things to answer. Here, you don't need to know anything. You can just look at the table and answer, right? You need your common sense in science. Which substance is best in conductor of it? So just check thermal conductivity highest, right? The answer is copper, right? Such is why copper is preferred to iron in electrical wiring in houses. So they're asking copper and iron. So definitely, if you are going to talk about the electric conductivity, I mean conducting electricity, you have to look at the electric conductivity, right? So look at the electric conductivity. Copper has what? Higher electric conductivity. That's what you have to say. Copper has higher electric conductivity. Yeah.
Sir, iron says it has delocalized.
No, they didn't ask things like that. They didn't ask structural properties. They didn't ask, explain this. They are asking, compare it by using the data in the table. So these are AO2 questions. Don't worry. We are doing these exams to correct it. Now you know, this is what I shouldn't write, right? Yeah, listen. I can't hear. Huh?
That passes electricity path.
How do you say that? Depending on what property. So you have to refer to this. It has greater relative conductivity, right? And what property of ceramic makes it good electric insulator, right? So look at the insulator. So then it says it doesn't conduct electricity in solid form, right? So you can say the relative electrical conductivity. Relative electrical conductivity is 0 or no conductivity shown.
Thyroid does not conduct electricity. Is it wrong?
Correct now. That's correct. Which pure metal in the table conducts electricity least well? Listen, this is a very tricky question. Right. First of all, you have to select a pure metal. Right? Aluminium is a pure metal. Okay, let me write PN. Ceramic is a non-metal. Copper is a pure metal. Iron is a pure metal. Lead is a pure metal. Polythene is a non-metal. Steel is an alloy. Right? It's an alloy. Therefore, out of them, huh?
So either it is something else or the polythene because of putting in brackets. I was like, is it something else? You do pronounce it different.
It's polyethylene. You call it polyethylene, right? That's how it became polythene. You will be learning that in grade 10, right? Polythene we are learning about polythene, right? But scientifically it's written as polyethylene, right? In very interesting lesson. Don't worry, we'll be learning it. So out of them, the one with the least conductivity is going to be lead. Lead is the answer. It's a very tricky question, right? You don't need any knowledge, prior knowledge for this. Right? Seven answers were no. Okay? Then making igana ganna, the discussion is a lesson. This is a lesson. Discussion of this paper is a lesson. Suggest why steel rather than iron is used in making machineries. So then machineries, the whatever the substance you use should be strong, hard, right? So when you now you compare steel and iron, what about the relative strength of steel? Is much higher than iron. So you have to say steel has higher what?
So should we always write?
Relative strength. Huh?
So is it
So if we write is stronger than iron,
Come on. Same answer. Right? Stronger than iron. That's excellent. හැබැයි මේ වගේ දැන් ඒක ඔයා ගෙදරින් අරන් ආපු උත්තරයනේ. And you learned last week, you know steel is stronger than iron. Now here you have to utilize this data. A perfect answer would be you are saying steel has 90 and iron has 25. Those are the relative strength. Therefore, steel is more. Therefore steel is stronger. That would be much. Better answer. Which metal in the table is most dense? Lead. Again, lead. Oh. Interesting. Most dense.
Sir,
You know why I'm like surprised? Because like in the soldering process, we use lead, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ circuit හදලා තියෙනවද? Circuit, electronic circuit. Electronic circuit හදනකොට අර lead කූරක් තමයි bounce කරලා අල්ලන්නේ.
Yeah, I think
So that is not very dense, no? Compared to iron. Right? Interesting. Okay. Right.
ඒක ගෙදරින් අරගෙන උත්තර.
Oh, gathering around. Yes, 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 yes. Well, මගේ ඇඟේම තියෙන මගේ කොහොමද? Okay. Sorry. What the mixture? Right. Okay. So, how does the strength of steel and aluminium alloy vary with their thermal conductivity? Oh, what is that question?
Sir,
Do you have any connection between thermal conductivity and strength?
so iron lower the strength,
Lower the
higher the
strength.
thermal conductivity.
Lower the strength, lower the
How
heat.
did? Oh, hurry.
So it's directly proportional.
Huh?
It's directly proportional.
Indirectly proportional. Inversely proportional. You call it inversely proportional. So here you can say, wait. High strength aluminium, thermal conduct. Okay, you can see that when the strength here for aluminium increases, conductivity decreases. Here it increases from this point to this. This is decreased, and here the strength is when you come down here. This is increasing, and this is decreasing. So then it's very clear, right? So then thermal conductivity decreases with what? Strength. Now density එක අහලා නෑ නේ ඉතින් question එකේ. අහන ප්‍රශ්න උත්තර දෙන්න. right? ඔක තමයි ගොඩක් ළමයින්ට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ. අහන එකට නෙමෙයි උත්තර දෙන්නේ. නේද? ගෙදරින් කුටි කන්නේ.
Sir, can we say higher the conductivity, lower the strength?
හා? ඔව් ඔය දැන්නේ මල්ල පොල් කිව්වා වගේ තමයි. මොකද?
Sir, can we say higher the conductivity, lower the strength?
හරි. Vice versa. Right? Reverse argument. Which one of these alloys is the best one to use to make body of an aircraft? Give two reasons for your answers.
High strength aluminium. High strength steel.
Steel,
Lower strength steel.
High strength aluminium.
මොකද ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ
High strength.
high strength steel.
Lower strength steel because density should be lower.
The answer දැන් ඔයාට අහසෙන් යන්න නම් what kind of a weight you should have?
Low weight.
Low weight. Have you ever lifted a bird? Have you ever lifted a bird? No. එක දවසක් හරි ජීවිතේ කරලා බලන්න. Right? A bird is much lighter than it looks. Right? Because okay, right. That's why the birds can fly. Don't ask how dinosaurs fly. Right? The truth. That's not my interest. But at the moment, why they are flying? Because they are very light. So that their wings can lift from the thrust. Right? So the aircraft has to be also what? Light. It doesn't mean that you should be able to lift the aircraft. Right? But it should be made with the lighter materials. Right? Meanwhile, on the other hand, it's not only light, it has to be strong. That's why you need to know the relative properties of metals to choose them for a proper use. Right? Okay. But make an definitely steel ganda balamite. Steel density බලන්න 7.7. Right? It is more dense 7 times, 8 times, almost 8 times more dense than what? Water. Water is 1. Right? So aluminium is just like 3 times of water. Right? So then, rather like, lifting a huge iron structure, lifting an aluminium structure is easier. Right? Okay. So then, right? So then you are going to say That okay. So then, first of all, aluminium. It should be something aluminium because you need lower density. Lower density. Let me write the reasons first. Right? Lower density 1 mark, and it should be higher in strength. Strength එක වැඩි වෙන්නත් ඕනේ, right? So then I choose aluminium, high strength aluminium, right? Higher in strength.
Yeah, I wrote high strength aluminium because it has relatively low thermal conductivity and
Thermal conductivity okay. ඒකත් okay. මොකද thermal conductivity වැඩි නම් ඉතින් plane එකේ යනකොට ඇතුළේ ඉන්න ඉන්න බෑ. රත් වෙනවනේ නේද? Right? Okay. So then high strength aluminium. Right? Strength aluminium. So that's what I'm saying. Right? When you are answering some questions, not only in chemistry, not only like in the what you call, I mean, not only in the chemistry, even in biology or physics, right? Always try to use your experience and common sense, right? Then you can actually do better, right? ගොඩක් අය බලන්නේ ඔක්කොම by heart කරපු answers අරන් යන්න තමයි exam එක. දැන් එතිල් මට කිව්වට වීලුවට ඒක ගෙදරින් අරන් ආපු answer එකක් කියලා අර මම කිව්ව කතාව ලෙඩ් වලට it wasn't a knowledge, it was an experience, right? So then I was connecting my experience into the fact in the sheet, and that moment I'm learning it really effective. දැන් ඒ වෙලාවේ මම අලුත් දෙයක් ඉගෙන ගත්තා. I learned new thing. දැන් ඒක දැන් හිතන්න දැන් මට experience එක තිබ්බේ නැත්තම් මම අර electronic circuits හදන්න බවුත් එකක් අරගෙන lead melt කරලා තිබ්බේ නැත්තම් මට නිකමට මම surprise වෙන්නේ. I never get surprised by seeing that. ඕගොල්ලෝගේ හරි okay. But I was surprised, right? So that's where the learning happens, right? Very strong, deep learning happens. More the whole experience of learning. That's why I'm telling you, right? Or may IT world game දවස පුරාම ඉන්න නැතුව ළමයි social media වල ඉන්න නැතුව do something. Get involved in making stuff like you can learn science better, right? Okay. So here is the answer for this අපෝ මේක ඇන් දෙනත් ළමයි පොට්ටක් අරන් ගහන්න ඕනේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. ඇයි ඒ? මේක ඉස්සරහ පොට් එක යනද කොච්චර ලේසිද මේක, right? ඉස්සර බාඩ මම හරියට අදිනවද කියලා ඉන්නේ, right? Let's say copper can be explained using metallic bonding. So you have the positive ion and we have the electrons. So you put the electrons like this around cations, right?
Then you get a mark for that.
Yes, of course. Describe with aid of label diagram. Label කරන්නත් ඕනේ, right? මොකක්ද දෙයන්ස කෑගෙන
No, sir, when I was drawing it, you came and you smiled and then I thought it was wrong and something.
So did my smile mean that you are wrong?
sir, typically when a teacher smile,
Yeah.
it's a bad.
It's a bad smile. Okay. A bad smile. Okay, so then you are dealing with the wrong person, with your perception,
Sir,
right?
normal when it's the exam smile.
Excuse me, sir.
I just smile like a human is smiling to another. Okay. Never. Ano ipoti kilti? Copper is a transition metal. It is used in both in its pure form and alloys. I may be wrong. The physical properties of copper can be explained in terms of metallic bonding. Describe with an aid of label diagram. Metallic bonding in copper. Alloy given එහෙම තමයි රවට්ටලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? You have to answer the question on the paper, not the question in your head. Right? කොහොම තමයි අපි මිනිස්සු දිහා බලන්නේ, තෝම තමයි අපි මිනිස්සු දිහා බලනොත් උන්ට මේ වගේ වෙන්නේ නැති කියලා හිතාගෙන බලනවා. right? ඒ වගේ තමයි question දිහා. question එක ඔයාගේ mind එකේ තියෙන විදිහට තමයි ඔයා දේවල් බලන්නේ. That's ඒක තමයි පළවෙනි දවසේම කිව්වේ මේ class එකේදී, if you want to be a scientific person, you have to what? See things with an open mind, right? and use your given information and entertain them. Okay, so here we have cations. So they ask, explain the metallic bonding. They didn't ask, explain the metallic structure. Structure, but what I really want you to write, there are strong attractions between what? Strong attractions, strong, whether electrostatic attractions between, yes, between, come on, delocalized electrons and delocalized net. In මම මේක හරිම මේ ස්මාර්ට් විදිහට ලියනවා තමයි මේ ආන්සර් එක එක්සෑම් එකේදී. දැන් මට මේක ෂුවර් නෑනේ. Is the examiner asking structure also? Mark scheme එකේ structure එක ගැනත් අහලා තියෙයිද? හැබැයි කියලා නෑ structure එක කියන්නේ කියලා, but we have the doubt. Bonding විතරද නැත්නම් structure ලියන්න ඕන. So we are going to write a very smart answer like this. Strong electrostatic attraction between delocalized electrons and cations which are in a rigid lattice. Rigid lattice අහලා තිබ්බොත් ලකුණු හම්බ වෙනවා. Which are in the rigid lattice.
So if we don't mention the rigid lattice,
Oh, then මම නම් මේකේ ලකුණු ඔයාට දෙනවා. හරිද? Because they ask only the bonding. Bonding කියනකොට මේ rigid lattice එකේ ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Strong electrostatic attraction between the delocalized electrons and cations. Enough, right? මේ වගේ answers කියන්නේ. මොකද ඒකලත් ලකුණු දෙන්න බෑනේ. නේද? Right.
So ඒක නම්
so what's the contract?
ඉතින් ඒක තමයි අහලා තියෙන bonding විතරයි.
නෑ සර් මම කොට ආන්සර් ස්ක්‍රීන් එකේ
අරක ඕනේ නැහැ, rigid lattice ඕනේ නැහැ.
නෑ සර් මම කියන්නේ එකක් ලියුවොත් වැරදි වෙන්නේ නෑ.
නෑ, මේක ලියුවට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. Because you have given the point and the extra point is also not wrong. No, it's the true.
So what if that point is wrong but the other point
Then
is correct?
no marks. ඒ මාර්ක් එක නැති වෙනවා. හරි.
So but we can't risk that.
Yes, that's what you call risk assessment. අපේ ලයිෆ් එකේ අපි risk එකක් ගන්නකොට අපි risk assessment එකක් කරනවානේ. ඒ risk assessment එකක් කරලා තමයි මේ කරන්නේ. දැන් example එකක් විදිහට මේ දවස්වල මම ගිහිල්ලා පැය ගණන් ඉන්න දේ ළමයි fuel polling වල. ඇයි?
Yeah, but take
දැන් මම risk assessment එක අරන් තියෙනවා. මම දැන් පැය ගණනක් ඉඳලා තෙල් අන්තිම මොහොතේ තෙල් ගහන්න ඔන්න මෙන්න තියෙදි තෙල් ටික ඉවරුණා නම් ඒක එක සැරයක් යනවා පරිප්පු. හරිද? දැන් තියෙන තෙල් ටිකක් නැහැ. හරිද? And my vehicle පොඩි වාහනේ ළම ඔයගොල්ලෝ වගේ ලොකු ලොකු වාහන නෙමෙයි මේක ලීටර් එකට වැඩිපුර දුවනවා. ඒ හින්දා මට දැන් අතුරු ගිරිය ඉඳන් මෙතනට එන්න මම ගණන් කරලා තියාගන්නවා. මෙච්චරයි මට කිලෝමීටර්ස් යන්න තියෙන්නේ. So I do a risk assessment so I can run for another 3 or 3.5 days. Right? Huh? එතකන් දුවලා බලන්න. අපි risk we have to take we have to do a risk assessment.
So the thank you very much.
නෑ ඒක වෙන්නේ දැන් මේ තියෙන සිටුේෂන් එකේ හැටියට මේ කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. Because when you assess the risk, staying in a queue is more risky than utilizing the fuel at this moment, depending on the fuel economy. Right? Okay. In the risk assessment, now you know that rigid lattice is a surely correct answer. Right? Maybe it is not relevant to this, but writing that is not going to harm. So risk assessment. Right? එහෙම කියලා මොකුත් දන්නේ නැති මෙලෝ දෙයක් දන්නේ නැති එකක් ලියන්න එපා හිතන්න. එතකොට දන්න එකට ලකුණක් කැපෙනවා. Is that clear? Right? So why metals are malleable? Because cation layers can slide over each other without what? Without breaking.
The electrostatic bond.
Actually detail and not without breaking. Rigid structure එක break වෙන්න හැකිද කියන්න බෑ. Without breaking the metallic bond. Without breaking the metallic bond.
So if he didn't write
Yes. Wait, Vidulia, can you be louder, please?
yeah, so sir, if he didn't write about the without breaking metallic bond, is it wrong?
You get 1 mark. Without breaking metallic bonds, 1 mark. මෙතුම්මයි ෂැනෝන්මයි පේන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ක්ලාස් එකේ මේ rules වලට adhere වෙන්න ඕනේ. Okay, why metals conduct electricity? They have delocalized electrons. 1 mark, no, so you just say delocalized electrons. Right, you can say free electrons, moving electrons, but my favorite term is delocalized electrons. Right? Suggest why? Wait. May have question nathi ko daw.
कितनी गहराई में है ये बिजली हुआ
So one periodic table lagi hai ban.
एक क्लियर और एग्जाम मॉड्यूल से मॉड्यूल बर्थडे क्या मैं
Badiyan ne, hello, molybdenum. නෑ මම මේ බලන්නේ මම මේ question එක අයින් කරන්නේ.
Sir, save it for an end. Sir, give us a free mark, sir. Yes,
No, 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 no. See,
Tapi kali na sir respect isna. Tapi kali.
you haven't necessarily that was if that's so you should have told me that moment, right? You have jumped into the well. You have to tell me before you jump in. Okay. නෑ කිසි වැරද්දක් නෑ මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ මේකට උත්තර දෙන්න. පුළුවන් suggest why molybdenum ඒක අයින් කරේ නිකන් question එකනේ අලු ගෙහෙලු කොණ්ඩ කටුවේ. There's no connection between the initial statement and the final question. But there is nothing wrong because everything is clear. You know English, you can understand. Suggest why, except for pronouncing the molybdenum words. Okay, I'll tell you after the class. Okay. All right. Suggest. I'm sorry about using some singular.
Just
numbers and stuff like.
It's fine, but that thing I don't.
You can't understand. You don't. Wait. You can't understand with that any connection between that two words, right? So that itself is an idiot. Right. There is no connection. Okay. Okay. Better than a tube light, by the way. Okay. No. Cut කරන්න කිව්වේ නෑ. Yeah. Okay. Right. Listen. So බලමු red pen එක අතේ තියාගෙන ඔයා වෙන පාරක් try කරන්න. The answer is this. Why? No. The question is why molybdenum has much higher melting point. Molybdenum is a transition metal where aluminium is 1 mark. 1 mark. No, a transition metals have higher density, higher melting point than normal metals.
Sir, can you repeat it?
Molybdenum is a transition metal, whereas aluminium not. It's not.
The high molecular mass.
Ekat accept කරන්න පුළුවන්. That's also accepted, right? The second statement you can give easily. Molybdenum has or should have stronger metallic bonds than aluminium. Okay.
Excuse me, sir. So I was told molybdenum requires more heat energy than aluminium to overcome strong electricity.
One more. Right? Because you didn't say it's a transition. Molybdenum transition is yes, transition, right? Okay. And how the Matthew said, higher atomic mass, that's also accepted. All right. So then that's it. Let's go to the attraction මෙහෙමයි electrostatic කියලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. electrostatic කියලාද? මෙහෙමයි. Strong electrostatic කියන්නත් ඕනේ. I'll tell you why. In simple molecular structures, molecules have weak electrostatic attractions. So then attraction forces are everywhere in chemistry. So you have to make it more specified. හරි දැන් මේක අපිට අංකල් කරමු නැත්නම් 6 වෙනකම් කරන්න වෙනවා තමයි. What do you understand by the symbol 2 after the word copper? That's the valency. That's the valency of copper. Did anyone write charge of copper?
Sir, I said okay.
Whereas in one of that's the valency of copper. A 2 කියන දාන්නේ valency of copper. That's the charge of copper. That's all right. charge of copper ion, like, oh, it has 2 plus charge. Any meaning?
Transition element variable
That was the variable valence is still liver. Take a high. Right?
So not because variable to valence.
Come on. Oh, my valence වචනේ තිබ්බනම් ඇති. Charge hari. Why is it not necessary to write the symbol after calcium in the name of calcium carbonate? There you go. Right? Because calcium is not a transition metal. It has only one valence.
So it has a fixed value.
එකත් හරි. Calcium has a එකත් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Has a fixed valency.
And what is
Valency. And also you can say calcium is not a transition element. Not a transition element. The සමහර ළමයිට තේරෙයි, right? Now those who didn't write any answer for this, you could have at least it like that, right? Like a right?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I wrote calcium's valence is also 2.
Calcium valence is also 2.
Yeah,
You said also or always 2.
also.
Then it is also wrong. Two in the way it has like 2 always. Then you don't have to write. Okay. Alright. Okay. Calculate the number of moles of HCl. So this is the volume and this is the concentration, right? N equals CV. ඒවද අපි හදපු ගණන් දැන් පන්ති. ඒ හදලා සමහර අය ලියනවනේ N is equal COV කියලා. අයිවා හරි.
No.
Right, 1 mole per dmU into 50 on අනිත් එක අමතක වෙන්න. Dividing it by 1000. දැන් මිරිස් කෑ වගේ කෑ ගන්න බෙදුවන තියයි. 0.050.
මම කරා.
In the bag, 0.050. Right. Calculate the number of moles of copper carbonate. Right. So then you have to use the ratio. Padahana, you have to use 0.025. Never think whatever you done. Make a hard lakunu dekat dena tibba. Because first of all, you have to apply what? Stoichiometry. Right, X, and then the moles will be 0.05, and then this should be 0.25 moles. Cross multiply. Hey, Laman, we know this. We have to find this jump. Right? Marks
Yeah. What is it?
I got 100. Out of it, 3.5.
Okay, so right, calculate the relative formula mass of copper carbonate. Can somebody tell me why do they use the word formula mass rather than the molecular mass? It's not relevant here, but relevant to our syllabus. Compound. So then let's say carbon dioxide is a compound. So we can say relative molecular mass of carbon.
Confuse us.
No, don't misunderstand always. I relative formula mass in the
So because it's
But-
copper 2 and there's valence.
Okay, good, you are close. The relative molecular mass and relative formula mass are same. It just be just relative formula mass is much better in this case. Why? No. Oh, online la make kari kiyanna බලන්න. No. Oh, මදි. අපේ standards මදි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ. So, කියනවා බලන්න. ඔය 80ක් වෙච්ච තමයි.
So valence. So because it was taken from the equation.
No. Why don't we use relative molecular mass? We use relative formula mass here.
Mass of 1.
No, it's the mass of the whole molecule.
So
In one
because
molecule, there are more
So is it because the relative formula is again used in other questions?
No.
So we are using the formula to find the molecule.
No, we are using formula to find always the relative molecular mass also. Okay, let me make it more, I mean, easier. Relative formula mass is more general. Relative molecular mass is little specific. You're saying what what is that? Relative formula mass is a general term. Relative molecular mass is kind of a specific term. Another way, relative molecular mass is a subset of relative molecular formula mass. You don't understand that.
So because that's
Right.
so is it because the valencies can change?
No. So it is a, what is a molecule? Right, Aganda. Okay, this is not like, if you don't know this, it doesn't mean that you are going to fail chemistry, right? But I want you guys to have this at least, I mean, not at least, I want you guys to go to this standards. When you say relative molecular mass, you are finding the mass of a molecule. Copper carbonate is an ionic compound. Ionic compounds don't have molecules. The use of relative molecular mass is not very standard for an ionic compound. For ionic compound, we usually use relative formula mass. You get my point? There are no molecules in copper carbonate. You are very close. You said, but you contradict. You said there is a molecule, right? Okay. So then here it's 64. Here 64 plus carbonate 12 plus 16 into 3. So how much is this? 124. Calculate the mass of copper carbonate. N equals M over capital N. N mass. Make a equation. Listen, make equation use kara. Listen. Make a concentrate kan go. Make or so other. Har thing me vela make karan. Har thing.
Yeah, that now. So
Oh, yeah. Calculate the relative molecular. Now we're working at a high final, but it's unfair, no? That 2 marks should be the previous and 1 mark should be. Okay, 0.025 m over 124. So then 3.1 grams. So equation 1 mark, final answer 1 mark with the units, with the units.
The ඊළඟ question එකේ question එක අපොන් 3යි කියලා තියෙනවා total mark එක 4 කියලා.
ඒක තමයි මම වැඩිපුර ලකුණ දීලා තියෙන්නේ. That's how the total marks. ඒක තමයි ඔයා ඔරලෝසු ආදාද ඉන්නේ මේක concept එක. වැඩි යනවා. How much is it? No, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You lost your focus. Right. Okay. So let's look at the calculation. Now, in the previous question, the calculation was given stepwise. Then, it's 11 moles of the acid. Then they asked moles of copper carbonate with the ratio, right? And they asked mass of copper carbonate. Likewise, they asked all the questions in stepwise form. Here, they don't ask anything like that. So you need your calculation mind map to work. You must have something, a method in your head when the question is asking this way. So this test is made in a such a way, right, to increase the difficulty level. Now we'll see what are the information given. First of all, they have given sodium hydroxide data completely. Have they given moles of sodium hydroxide?
Yes. No. We should find it.
Yes or no?
No.
No, okay. Right? Why? Minali, why do you see moles of hydroxide in the question? Oh, you can't figure out. What's your problem? You can't figure out. Do you know N equals CV and normal mole calculation? You know. Okay. Tell me what is this data? N the V the C the. Make a board color. You can see, right? You can't see. Come on, look about it. It can happen. My screen some matter pain with the why say? Concentration. What's the unit? 28,000 unit centimeter cube measure volume, right? So this is volume. You get it? So make out the make. ඊට පස්සේ ඉන්නේ 0.1 කියලා තියෙන මොකක්ද? That's concentration. ඉතින් මේ දෙන්න දන්නවනේ. So moles we don't know, they have given volume. So you write volume is known. When I write this big, you can read. Okay. So then the volume here is 28 and we don't know moles. So you can understand we have to apply what? N equals CV. Make a calculation mind mapping. What do they ask at the end? Calculate the concentration of sulfuric acid. So they are asking something about sulfuric acid. Again, the circle I draw on the symbol in the equation is not concentration or volume. It's merely moles. මේ moles වලට තමයි මම මේක රවුමක් හදේ. ඒක දන්නවද අපි? ඒක දන්නවද? Sulfuric moles දන්නවද? දන්න. So what do we know? Yeah, the answer? What do you know about sulfuric? Read කරන්න බේ. දන්න හැයි කියන්නේ. as පේනවා නම් ඒක දන්නවා.
The volume?
ඒක ආයි මන් දුවනවා වගේ දෙපේ. මොකක්ද 9.5 කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා නෙමෙයි සල්ෆියුරික් එක 9.5 cm cube of sulfuric ඒක තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ read කරන්නේ. So the volume of that is given 9.5. Now කොහොගන්න. So you know the concentration of sodium hydroxide as well as the volume. So this is where you have to start. You start from sodium hydroxide, find its moles. From sodium hydroxide moles, find the moles of sulfuric. That's going to be the ratio. And from that again, you use N equals CV to find the concentration. That's the order of the calculation. ඕක decide කරන්න ඕනේ කොහොමද? හැබැයි තව විදියක් කියලා දුන්නා එදා ඕක කරන විදිය. You said that it makes sense, more sense to you, right? The table method, right? මම මේ විදියට කරලා පෙන්නන්න. Right? So first of all, you find the moles of sodium hydroxide. This is sodium hydroxide. That is 0.1 into 28 into 10 to the power minus 3. Then it's going to be 2.8 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles. This is the moles of sodium hydroxide. 1 mark. That's 1 mark. මොකද? නෑ decimal කිව්වත් කමක් නෑ. මේව තියෙන්න ඕනේ නෑ. හරි? Then you need to find the moles of sulfuric. So you are going to apply sodium hydroxide to sulfuric ratio. That ratio is going to be 1:2. I give 1 mark for that. I'll give 1 mark for that. Right? And then you write, you know sodium hydroxide, right? Into X, and then X going to be 1.4 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles. And I'll give 1 mark for that as well. That's the moles of sulfuric. So that's why you discuss it. Right? But still it's correct. Right. Okay, so you get like 1.4 into 10 minus 4, 3, right? Okay. And then you are going to find, so this is the moles of sulfuric, and you are going to find the concentration using N equals CV. And moles, you know, 1.4 into 10 to the power minus 3, and the concentration unknown, volume is what? 9.5, but it should be divided by 1000. So can 0.00. No. Give me the final answer.
0.147.
0.147.
So that's a form of comment.
0.147. But I 147 moles per dm. So this one is 1 mark, right? So I'll give 1 mark for this, especially the 1 mark for ratio, and then 1 mark for small moles of sulfuric, and 1 mark for concentration. Fair enough? Right? හතරයි. එතනට හතරක් තියෙනවා. green මේක මම කියවනේ ඒක වෙනස් කරලා පුළුවන්. Sorry?
So අනිත් method එකයි කරන්න පුළුවන්.
කලින් video එක කොහොමද? කලින්
Oh yeah, sure. මම කලින් method එකක් කරන්න. මේ අනිත් method එකක් කරන්න.
Sir, screenshot down.
Yeah. Right. So this is the other method. Some of you like this method, right? So we usually write the method of mass and sambandha, and you don't need the mass, right? So you write moles, volume, concentration. Moles not given. Volume 9.5. Concentration not given. Sodium hydroxide, moles not given. Volume 28. Concentration 0.1. එහෙනම් මෙතනින් තමයි පටන් ගන්න. N equals CV, and then you get here and then jump here and then right. That's how you have to.
So isn't that time then, so
මෙහෙමයි. ටයිම් එකට වැඩි යන්න සමහර අයට අර මෙතඩ් එක තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ මෙතඩ් එක තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ සමහර අය. එක එක විදියටනේ දේවල් තේරුම් ගන්න. You guys have to understand that now. In this world, people are different. The way that they are like thinking, they are understanding, they are like absorbing stuff in a different way. ඒකයි මම කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හිතනවා නම් අයියෝ මට සයන්ස් හොඳට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ, අරයා තරම් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ, මෙයා තරම් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා කම්පෙයාර් කරගන්න එපා. That's normal, right? But there will be a way that you might understand it in a different way. But for that you have to explore, right? You have to explore yourself. Right. So then if the yield of the reaction, then yield of the reaction 75% කියලා දුන්නාම ඔයා තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ මොකක්ද මේ මොන yield එකද මේ? Percentage එකකින් දෙන්නේ මොන yield එකද? Percentage yield, right? So this is percentage yield. Percentage yield is equal to what? Actual yield divided by theoretical yield into 100. මේ මේක මම කරේ නේද ඔයගලන්ට? You are very silent.
yes sir.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Huh?
පාවිච්චි
Right, so this is 75%, and the
But
actual
you-
yield is what they are asking, right? Well,
No sir, theoretically.
calculate the mass of oxide formed when no. Calculate the mass of oxide formed when 12 grams of magnesium carbonate reacted. Huh?
12 kilograms is the experimental.
No. ඉන්නම කියලා. දැන් ඔයා හොයන්න ඕනේ experimental yield එක. Now, is the calculate the mass of magnesium oxide formed when 12 kilogram of magnesium burns in excess air. හරියි. දැන් මං අහන්නේ එයාගේ final answer එක යන්නේ ඔයාට yield එක real yield එක කොච්චරක් එනවද?
Sir, but
Oh. They are asking that. Calculate the mass of magnesium oxide formed. Final. Final. That මේක තමයි මේ final. Ultimate final last answer එක ඕක තමයි. Right? මේක තමයි මේ යන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒක හොයන්න ඔයා මොකක්ද දැනගන්න ඕනේ? Theoretical yield එක දැනගන්න. You need to know theory. නේසඳ මේ ලෝකේ ඉන්න නේසඳ වටේ තියෙන දේවලුයි පෑනුයි වතුර බෝතලුයි ඔරලෝසුයි ඒව නේ මේක ફોකස් කරන්න. Right? Okay. So this is the last thing you need to find. Last thing, right? But in order to find that, you need to know the theoretical yield. Theoretical yield එක දන්නේ නැහැ. But ආපහු දාන්න ඕනේ stoichiometry. All these calculations are working around stoichiometry and moles. Right? So they make a mass එකනේ අපි වැඩ. ඒකින්ද අපි අර විදිහටම ලියා ගන්නවා. M capital M. Moles don't know. Mass of magnesium is given 12 kilograms. That's it, no. ඒක හොඳටම ඇති අපිට. Because we know the molar mass of magnesium is 24. Right? And they are asking magnesium oxide mass. Right? This is theoretical yield.
So this is here, but 12 kilograms. It can be practically how?
නෑ මේ form නෙමෙයි ඒ තමයි ඔය practical use කරපු reactant එක. ඒකෙන් දැන් ඔයා theoretically බලන්න ඕනේ products කොච්චරක් හැදෙන්න යනවද කියලා. නෙමෙයි that's the ඔයා stoichiometry දාලා නැහැනේ ගානට. ඒකනේ හරි right අහගන්න. So then first of all you find the moles of magnesium. සල බලන්න ඕනේ අපි කොච්චරක් moles use කළා 12 into 1000 grams කරන්න ඕනේ. Right? So we are using n equals m over capital M. මේක දාන්න මේ. Right? And divided by 24. So how many? 500 moles, right?
Yeah.
500 moles. So you have used 500 moles. දැන් මේක මාර වැඩක් නේ කවිෂා විතරයි වීඩියෝ එක දාලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? Right? Metum, Shenon, Vidul, none of you are putting the videos on. I'm going to take an action on you, right, guys? Okay?
Sir, is my
Shenon and
amount?
Metum, I explained you last. Now I told you like few minutes ago, not few minutes ago, half an hour ago. But did you send me any message, Shenon? Why the videos are not on?
No, sir, my internet is a bit low, sir, so I
Did
keep
you
my
offer
camera on,
message
sir.
down the page, Shenon? Metum, can you tell
Okay,
me the
sir.
reason, please? Guys, please adhere to the rules. Huh? Otherwise, I'm going to put you out from the class permanently. කියන දේ අහන්න බැරි නම් යන්න. හරිද class එකේ? මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ නලවනවලු ඉන්න බෑ මට. Okay. So the moles of magnesium is 500. And so we need to find out the moles of magnesium oxide. So we use what? Magnesium to magnesium oxide ratio. Right? So we have 500 moles of magnesium. We don't know magnesium oxide. Then magnesium oxide become 250 moles. The main percentage yield calculation right? So you get 1 mark for magnesium moles. You get 1 mark for magnesium oxide moles.
2 mg magnesium oxide.
Yes. Thank you.
Sir,
If it's 2:2, can we?
It's 1:1. It's 1:1. 1000 apologies. ඔකදා වෙන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ disturb කරාපු lesson එකට. Right? So you get 500 moles. So then 1 mark. And now you are going to find the mass of magnesium oxide. Right? So it's 500 moles of magnesium oxide. Mass, we are finding mass of magnesium oxide. Right? And then the molar mass is going to be 40 the name.
Yes, sir.
40 grams. 40 grams per mole. Therefore, the mass will become 20,000 grams, isn't it?
So is that 20 kilograms?
Yeah, okay, 20,000 grams, right? 20,000 grams. Make it a bit. Theoretical yield. This is the theoretical yield. So then 20 kilograms is the theoretical yield. And you had find the actual yield. You are fighting for your pride, right? Okay, so the actual yield will be 20 into 75 divided by 1000. So then how much is that?
Yeah.
15 kilograms. This is your final answer. So මේකට එක ලකුණයි. Right? So moles of magnesium 1 mark. Right? Moles of magnesium oxide 1 mark. And more mass of magnesium oxide 1 mark. And then the final percentage.
16 kilograms के लेकर 12,000 6,000 के लिया
කවුද දෙන්නේ? ඒ දෙවියනේ මේ ස්පේන් නැද්ද 2000 එක විතර. එනකට working එකට හම්බ වෙනවා එයාට 2 marks.
Sir,
Right. Yeah.
sir, I didn't convert it into grams, so
That's
let's
all
look
right.
at-
As far as final answer is correct, answer is accepted. Okay, so now you guys know how the questions will be given to you in this exam, right? I want you to put your total marks and let me know, online students, please put your marks in the chat. I want to know how many marks that you have got out of 42. I'm sorry for being harsh, but I have to be, otherwise you guys do whatever you want. That's not the way, right? Vidul, you mean you were not there for the lesson? Did you mean that?
Sir, we didn't do it in school, right?
Yeah.
Method is school adala naya Vidul. I'm talking about the class.
Yes, I wasn't there.
You missed that part, right? Oh, what? Weren't you there when you missed
I
that
was,
part? Probably, yes, okay.
Yeah.
I can't help. So then you have to just take the total up from this. School adala is right. Right, so it's out of 42, you can find percentage. Make sure that you give the paper and go, right? I won't go through your papers. Right, so it's a good, very effective day, Lamai, because now you can, you know where do you stand in this race, right? And plus, next day I'm going to give you a practical session. Ek karanna bari wunot, but don't worry, it is not going to be a big problem, right? I will give you another test next week with MCQs, right? With MCQs, because you have to be good in multiple choices as well, right? Okay, so I want to know the marks. Online students, please make sure you put the marks in the chat right now, and others, please give your papers. Give the papers to Ms. Chaturika, right, while you're going, and we'll see like how much you have done. I'll be like analyzing where are the mistakes and weak points of you, and then I'll give you some feedback next day. Okay, you can peacefully go home. I'm going to wrap up the meeting for the online students. Bye. I'll see you
Bye,
next week.
sir.
Bye,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Thank
See you next week.
Have a